Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we will be discussing about money. It is that entity for which we devote a large portion of our life. We go to school, we go to college, get our degrees, we go to work to earn money. But what is money and where does it come from? Do we understand it properly? Come on, let's find out in this video. So we all know money is a medium of exchange. We trade it for goods and services. But have you ever given a thought where this money that everyone seems to be running after comes from? If you think that the government is responsible for the money, it's not entirely true. To start with understanding money, we have to go back in time to precisely December 1913, when the Federal Reserve System was institutionalized in the USA. This led to the creation of central banks all over the world. In India, we know it to be as the Reserve Bank of India or RBI. Now, what happened after the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank was that firstly it started printing dollars, the first one being in 1914. During World War II, USA was the supply center of the Allied forces. For the supplies, US was paid in gold from the Allied countries. Now, back in those days, the Federal Reserve Bank printed money equivalent to the value of gold in its reserves. That is, the money, the currency, the dollar was backed by gold. Seeing this, other countries started linking their currencies to the dollar, which was in turn linked to gold. But in the course of time, we all know the dollar was taken off the gold standard. After the dollar was removed from the gold standard, all the currencies of the world was not backed by anything tangible anymore. So came the concept of fiat currency or fiat money. Fiat money is based on faith. What it essentially means is that when you go out to buy a product and you pay rupees 100 for that, the shopkeeper has faith that the money has some value and accepts that payment. But in reality, the money is not having anything of value backing it. Now we have understood what our modern day money is. Now let's see how central banks control it. To understand how central banks control our money, we have to look at its functions. One of its main function is issue of money. Now, although it is a very small statement to make, it has country changing, even world changing consequences. A central bank can literally make money out of thin air. When it does, it dilutes the value of the money in circulation. Central banks tries to maintain a delicate balance between the value of goods and services produced in the country and the money printed to support its value. Now, another very unique feature of a central bank is that it not only creates money that doesn't exist, but also lends money to commercial banks as well as the government via bonds at some interest rate. This will also be paid by money that doesn't exist. This system of creating money out of nowhere and interest being paid by money that is not existing is the foundation of the debt-based economy that we are presently in. More debt means more growth. The central bank lends money to commercial banks. The commercial banks lends a fraction of the money to other institutions. In both cases, they create money that doesn't exist. Why should we care, you might ask? Well, the more debt is given, more money is created, the value of the existing money reduces, which in turn causes inflation. Let us look at how printing money can affect our inflation. Here I've taken an example. Let us suppose there is 1 million goods and the total money value is 10 million. So average price of a good will be 10. Now let us suppose that the government prints 10 million more. So the number of goods remains the same. The total money supplied increases by double and the value of the goods will increase by double as well. Now as there is more money but the same goods number of goods is same, so the prices increase, thereby causing 100% inflation. This is just outcome or the consequence of printing money. I've already explained what is the consequence of debt, how more debt can lead to more inflation. Printing of money can lead to inflation. Hence, central banks all over the world have a very crucial function of controlling, maintaining a very delicate balance between the products produced, the value of the product produced, and the money that they are printing. If overprinting is there, it may lead to inflation, and if underprinting is there, it may lead to deflation, which in both cases, when it goes beyond certain limits, is not acceptable. Now we have understood that how central banks can affect changes in our economic policies. It has tremendous power over a country's economic condition. As in India as well, the Reserve Bank of India prints and manages the currency of India. However, the government regulates what denominations can be circulated in the market. So there is a level of control by the Indian government. The Indian government is also responsible for minting of coins, that is not done by the RBI, and the RBI can print money only of denominations up to 10,000. So there are certain checks and balances that are put in place so that there is no misuse of power. There are no booms and busts that will serve a certain section of people. I hope I'm able to provide you with a different perspective, a new school of thought about how money works, where it comes from, and where it goes, how inflation takes place in our economic system. We will be discussing more about wealth and wealth management in our next videos. So, goodbye for now. Take care.